The story begins when a boy named Lu Sheng sleeps in class. He wakes up when his teacher shouts at him and scolds him for always sleeping. His teacher scolded him for not making any effort because the unified examination was in 200 days. He told him that even to work at the construction site, the minimum blood chi is 0.8, and his blood chi is 0.7. The whole class makes fun of him. When the class ended, Lu Sheng's friend asked him if he had the same nightmare. He said that he dreamed of a ruined city with monsters everywhere. He told him to stop talking about it as it has mentally affected him, and his chi level is dropped. His friend suggested that he should stop worrying about the chi and let's play games. He denied him as he wanted to go home and rest. Then he leaves the school to go home. On his way home, he thought that even after transmigrating to another world, he had to worry about unified examination after being worried about physics, chemistry, and maths in the past. When he reached home, his mother applied pain-relieving patches on his father's back. His mother told him that she would prepare the food within some time. He asked his dad if he wanted to buy the blood disorder apparatus and further told him that it can increase blood chi, relax, clear the body channels, and is suitable for back injuries. His father told him he was fine and the pain was due to his age. His father told him he bought a present for him, the Benevolence Hall new supplement. He was surprised to see the supplement as it cost $20,000. His mother was so glad that his father brought this new supplement for him, and she promised to cook pig head as a reward. Then he went to his room, started training in martial arts, and started thinking about the history of martial arts. His blood chi didn't change after training 3 times, and he decided to practice more. He suddenly found himself in the barren land. He thought he was dreaming, so he pinched to wake up, but it didn't work. Suddenly the zombie attacks him from the back. He picked up the stone, hit the zombie's head, and killed the zombie. When the zombie was killed, some energy emerged from his body and entered his body. After that, he starts seeing weird things. He realizes it's a zombie memory. While he was thinking, another zombie came. He attacked the zombie and killed him in one hit. Surprised by what was happening, he realized this strength comes from zombies. After killing the zombie, he realized he could gain their memories and strength. He sees Army Base number 1359 in second zombie memories. He remembered seeing the same base in his first zombie's memory. He thought that to find the truth, he must find this military camp. Then he realized that he could not feel the intense feeling this time. So, he has to find the battle-type zombie to find out more. His sister knocked on the door, and he woke up and opened the door. She asked as if he was sleeping in the room instead of training. He said that he probably fell asleep while training. She told him to come out and eat. He was utterly sweaty, so she realized he might be training hard. He remembers his childhood when they were close, but she changes after receiving the result of her first test. Her strength and blood chi are best to get admission to the university. He was changing his shirt when he saw his abs in the mirror, which were well defined, and he was not feeling tired or sleepy. He was feeling energetic and still remembered the zombie memories. He realized he could gain strength in the dream and use it in real life. He comes out and starts eating. After finishing one bowl of rice, he asked for another bowl. His father was glad. He thought his tonic worked, so his chi would also increase. She said that increasing the chi is not that easy, and she gets scolded by his father. He went to the Hongchuan's martial arts hall to measure his chi. There he saw the poster of the martial arts owner whose specialty is fist martial arts. Fees to afford this training can only be afforded by the rich. When he turned, the receptionist called and asked if he wanted to sign in for tuition. He denied it and asked for the measuring equipment. She told him the direction to the measuring equipment room. He measured his blood chi and was glad it increased by 2 points. Then he measured his battle strength, and it also increased. He was happy that now he could also become an artist. He thought that if he could gain that much strength after sleeping for 1 hour, then if he slept for 8 hours, how much more could he gain? He tried to sleep but failed and then decided to train. While training, he discovered different techniques from those he had learned in elementary school. Then he realized that these techniques were learned by zombies when they were alive. Now he knows 200 more techniques, and the more he practices, more he feels strength emerging with full force. This is not only because of techniques but also due to breathing exercises. He realized that these techniques give better results than his previous training. While he was practicing, he started feeling so hungry. His body's nutrient requirement can be fulfilled with supplements, not food, but his family cannot afford them. So, he decided to earn his own money to conserve energy. Then he remembered that students awarded by He Academy first-class scholarship would receive $10,000. To receive it, he has to show his strength and talent. After a few days in the school, while they were changing, Kaiming saw his defined abs and was surprised. The protagonist told him that he practiced very hard. Kaiming told him he trained hard to attract the girl's attention. The live combat teacher Zhang Zhengguo said they would consolidate previously learned basic martial arts combat for today's lecture. Kaiming told him that his teacher was a grade 2 martial artist, and he had fought the monsters on the battlefield, and the scar on his right hand was because of it. He thought that even for the grade 2 martial artist, his techniques were very superficial to those he had absorbed from his dreams. After some techniques, the teacher asked Yang Yefi for further demonstration. The protagonist thinks it's unfair and that his teacher is biased against him because he is rich. He thought he wouldn't do anything if he were his old self, but now he'll do his best to show his abilities. The boy showed his techniques, and the instructor told him he'd correct some mistakes after class. The teacher asked for volunteers who could defeat him. He thought everyone cowered in fear whenever he asked for volunteers and still said he was biased. He repeats for the volunteer and protagonist volunteered. His friend told him he shouldn't injure himself as the unified examination was near, but the protagonist was confident. The instructor explained the rules and told them to be careful as his Kai was low, so he told him to focus on learning new skills. The match started, and the boy reminded the protagonist about the teacher's instruction. He told him that the most essential things in combat are maintaining the distance and predicting the opponent's moves. As he was attacking, the protagonist managed to dodge. He then hit him with a soul punch and defeated him. Everyone was surprised that he defeated Yefi with just one punch. The teacher called the nurse for the loser. Meanwhile, the protagonist was worried about him, and his teacher told him that these injuries could occur when you were learning and told him to come to the office. He told Kaiming to inform the other teacher that he was in the office. In the office, the teacher asked him if he was taking the supplements that increase blood Kai and are prohibited, but he denied it as he wasn't taking them. The teacher said he should measure his blood Kai and battle strength right now, and if it matched, he was indeed strong. The protagonist agreed. When the teacher checked his Kai, it was 1.5, equal to grade 1 martial artist. He was shocked that he was a martial artist at 18. It was time to check battle strength, and when he punched to check his battle strength, he broke the head of the machine, which in turn destroyed the teacher's beautiful bonsai plant and struck the wall. He apologizes to him and says he didn't do it intentionally. The teacher was shocked at how can machines not tolerate the student's strength. He asks the protagonist when he last measured his blood Kai. The boy explained that he checked it half month ago. He was astonished at how he managed to increase that much of his strength and Kai in just half a month. He thinks he learned one thing while on the battlefield. Normal humans couldn't triumph over the monster. Only those who had unreasonable strength were able to defeat them. The teacher told him that with this result, he could get into the top class and be taught by the best teacher, but he rejected the offer. He assures him that school will solve any difficulties that he will face. The protagonist told him that he had two requests. First, he wants a scholarship, and second, he wants some free time during school hours. The teacher promises to talk with the administration and also gives him martial arts black card because he doesn't want to neglect his practice. Teacher is happy as they can defeat other schools with his help. And also, after a long time, someone will be able to go in that place. In the market, a girl with her mother bought benevolent hall supplements for females, increasing the Kai blood level of those who reach 0.8, especially females. The cost of the supplement was $30,000. The protagonist, who was also in the market, was watching this. He thought that his parents weren't so wealthy that they could buy these supplements, and even if they worked tirelessly, they could afford supplements that cost $3,000. Only those rich can become the best martial artists, and can afford these. People like us always stay behind. While King is talented and can change her fate, her progress is affected by me and our lack of resources. Meanwhile, he cannot accept his fate as a mediocre martial artist and is not even try to change his fate. Instead, he wastes time playing games. Even after coming to this world, he was reluctant to give up and continued to hide in the games. He felt like a fish struck in the tank who wanted to live in the vast and boundless ocean, and was reluctant to let go of the comfort of the tank. But now he has broken those limits and has gained the opportunity to change his fate. Now he won't make the wrong decision. Suddenly he improved and mastered the fighting techniques, then realized that, as his teacher said about enlightenment, it is because he identified his true self. While thinking about all this, he keeps moving toward home. Again, in his dreams, he was in that place and was fighting with the zombie. Then he moved toward the military base and was astonished as, according to the zombie memories, the black fog and countless zombies should surround it, but he didn't bump into any. Finally, he found a city that was surrounded 20-meter thick wall. He thought, what kind of infiltrations lead to the destruction of this place even when they have such a strong civilization? In that case, what will be their future? He found a military base building and was about to enter it but changed his plan when he saw a zombie with an intimidating aura. He surveyed the surrounding area as the zombies below didn't seem scary. He jumped from one zombie's head and entered a typical building with no zombies. There was a button, and when he pushed it, the system rebooted, and the holographic image of a girl appeared. He was surprised that the virtual image was talking in his language. The protagonist was surprised at how this AI could talk in his language, but then apprehended that it'll be able to translate. Holographic image introduced herself, saying it was invented by Heavenly Law's technology, and Gen 16 brain built an AI. It also manages the server of military base number 1359. He asks AI about the recent news, but she cannot connect to Skynet. Then, she gets connected to the database of military base 1359 and displays all the recent news. While reading the news, he thought that if this world and his world were parallel universes, their strength would be unimaginable as they have grade 10 martial artists, and even such advanced technology. However, still, they were unable to defend themselves against monsters and fog. Then they give up on the Earth and try to find another planet to live on. But no good news comes. Even though their civilization was striving, they could not stop human extinction. He then asked the AI to find human history so that he can be able to retrieve some information that could be useful to avoid human death in his world. He was shocked to find that this world's history was similar to his world and that this world wasn't the parallel universe. It's his world after 10,000 years. He asked the AI to retrieve his personal information. A total of 36 results came out that he was a commoner who died at the age of 28. Then he asked for his sister's data, but AI refused to give martial artist data and asked for the blood sample for analysis. He was confused about how to give AI his blood sample, and then AI bit his finger and analyzed the blood. The revolution plan is activated and suddenly changes the protagonist's information, and now he appears as a martial artist. Probably the future changes. He passed the unified examination with the best results and entered Baihe Martial Arts University. Then he served on the battlefield and died on the southern battlefield. He was a lieutenant, but there is no outstanding contribution. He realized that the future might be changed because of the strength he gained recently, so if he can increase his strength using this world, he will be able to make his name in history, and will be able to save humanity. Then he can become the savior with the power to change the future. He leaves his room and has breakfast while his mother tells him to get ready for school. However, he replied that his teacher told him he could study at home from now on. She was surprised, and King thought he had changed and was acting strangely. He went to his room, and the phone rang. Mr. Zhang was calling, and he told him that his scholarship had arrived, so he should pick it up in the evening, and also he should schedule his time accordingly. But he replied that he didn't have much time to waste and that he'll explain it later, then cut the call. He thought there was no time to waste as he had to reach the top and shock the world by showcasing his talents. He should find a way to change the world. He told the AI to find the cultivation method and scripture related to martial dai. 46,571 results came out. He then asked the AI to find the techniques for one-tier martial artists. Total of 3 results came out, which were the best techniques in the last thousands of years. These techniques were the star body refining technique by Wang He, the natural breathing technique by Yang Yi, and the crystal visualizing technique by Duan Yifeng. These techniques were left by level 11. These people predicted such a future and taught these techniques to their students so someone from the future could use these techniques and continue their flame. They wouldn't think that someone from the past could use it. The star body refining technique converts the body into a tiny universe. It refines the Kai and strength physique and concentrates on every single cell, turning into a tiny star with blood as a surging galaxy. For those who have practiced this, their defense and offense strength might be at an unimaginable level. This technique is much better than the previous body refining technique. The following technique is breathing techniques, including the fire technique, with which the body feels as if it is filled with flames and the blood starts boiling. The third and last technique is crystal visualizing, which emphasizes cultivating mental fortitude. Mental strength is significant for a martial artist, so he has to cultivate it slowly. When he awoke from the dream, his body was stinky and sweaty. He decided to bathe as using these techniques helps to remove impurities from the body. He thought that after receiving the scholarship, he could take the supplements with future martial arts techniques, increasing his strength and changing his medical history. Mr. Zhang scolded him for not coming to school. He apologized, but the instructor told him to leave. Since he got the scholarship, He decided to buy the supplements according to medical recipes that he found in the future. According to this recipe, muscle and blood enhancing soup and bone nourishing pills are the most suitable supplements. He has to make a proper formula so that it'll work effectively. Thus, he needs a pharmaceutical lab, which he can't afford, so he decided to rent the pharmacy facility. He asked the pharmacy to rent his lab, but the man scolded him and said he wanted to steal their secret recipe. He already bought the ingredients but was unable to rent a lab, so he decides to buy some equipment online. While walking, he found another pharmacy and decided to ask them. The boy there asked him what he wanted to buy. He thought that they might rent their lab to him. So, he asked him about renting the lab, and they agreed to rent for 3 hours, and the price per hour was $500. He enters the lab and starts making medicine. He removed the scale of the mutated lizard and added a neutralizer, filled the concentration to 35, and maintained the temperature. Then he liquefied the condensed moonstone using a laser transmitter, thus converting it to liquid, collecting it, and cooling it down. Finally, he obtained muscle blood enhancing soup by mixing all the ingredients proportionally. He drinks the soup to check whether he made it correctly after ingesting it. He thinks he has failed. But then, suddenly, it produced a strong Kai without any side effects. Furthermore, it increases skin density and shrinks the pore, which resulted from research for thousands of years. The attendant knocks on the door and tells him to run from the back door as the pharmacy's owner has arrived. Missy, the owner of a pharmaceutical company, was trying to make a new medicine that surpasses all the previous medicine, but could not. As time progresses, all pharmaceutical companies are also making progress and making better and new medication. Her family could not adapt to these changes and was conservative. Thus, her pharmacy lost the competition in a new market. She thinks that she should collaborate with the alchemy master. She wants a medicinal prescription from Mr. Zhang of the neighboring city so that her family business can rise from the ashes. She entered the pharmacy, and Ma Fei asked if she wasn't going to a neighboring city. He was praising the beauty of Miss He in his mind when she called him and asked him if someone had used the lab as the lab coat was dirty. He wanted to explain everything to her, but she fired him. Then she entered the lab, which was quite messy, and checked all the equipment. She was so angry that she must wash and disinfect all the equipment again. She saw a mutant lizard without scale and thought that without knowledge of the medicine, no one would be able to make the medicine, and thought that the person was wasting his time here. She saw a test tube broken on the ground with a mysterious smell. She picked it up and tasted it. Then she ran after him and asked him who made that medicine. She told him he could come to work if he brought that person to him. She wants to meet him, and Ma Fei tells her he has his number. She wants to get the medicinal formula as its effect on strength is much more than those tonics which are found in the market. And it also has some whitening effect. And since it uses all the natural ingredients, its cost will be less than those currently in the market. She talks to someone on the phone. On the other hand, the protagonist was training the stellar body refining techniques and breathing techniques by using the potions he made. The result also improved. He made 12 portions of the medicine, so he can take 2 portions for 6 days. Then his phone started ringing, and when he picked up the phone, she told him she wanted to collaborate with him because she liked the tonic he made. The protagonist told her he would meet her next week, but she wanted to meet him now. But till then, he disconnected the call. She told the Ma Fei to find that master within 6 days, and she will pay him $10,000 for each day. He was so happy to hear that. But then he told her he was just 20 years old and a student, not a master's. She was surprised and wanted to know exactly who he was. The protagonist was fighting with the zombie and beheaded one zombie. Another zombie holds its head and absorbs its energy. He is also a level 4 martial artist and his next target. He tried to fight him heads on, but the zombie's strength exceeded level 4. Then he defeated him and absorbed his energy, and he learned that the zombie was a level 5 powerhouse before death. If the zombie didn't lose its rationality and intelligence, he wouldn't be able to defeat him. He was cultivating his strength by using the techniques and drinking the tonic, and his muscle power also increased. He is also absorbing some new techniques from the memories of zombies. Thus, he can release an astronomical amount of power 10 times his normal strength. He called this merge skill a fixed star outburst. The next day he went to Hongchan's hall and asked the receptionist if he wanted to rent a testing machine. She makes fun of him that in such a short time, his strength can't increase. He smiled and said he wanted to know if he could increase his Kai and strength slightly. She told him that room 206 was available and that he could test it there. He checked his blood Kai, which is now 15.6. He thinks it would be weird if it doesn't increase that wildly after using the tonic and technique of the future. Then he tested his battle strength, which is now 3137. He tried again and returned. He seemed satisfied while returning, and the receptionist thought he was trying to act cool. While talking about the protagonist, Nai Shuang, and his junior arrival, she said he was just an ordinary good-looking high schooler. Nai Shuang Jr. commented that there is no point in being good-looking if he can't fight correctly, and that from his looks, he seems like he is from an average family and poor study. But then she hit him for making fun of someone's resources and told him to work hard. Her junior then wants to see the protagonist's result and thus tries to persuade him. After some effort, she agreed but told him he should not become overconfident after seeing it. She was shocked to see the result of the high schooler, which turned out to be that much high. She was shocked to see the result and asked the receptionist if the device was broken but replied that it had been checked yesterday. So, she thought the results were accurate and asked about his address. She replied that she didn't have his details because he was not a member, but he might be living nearby since he comes to Hongchons often. Shuang told her to contact all the employees and find him quickly. He came out of the taxi. The driver enjoyed his time with him and said he would introduce his daughter to him next time. When the taxi left, he thought it would tell him that he was there to participate in level 2 martial arts, and then he would think he was crazy and wouldn't talk to him. He entered the building of the Martial Art Association, and on his way, he saw a man rushing out hurriedly and was saying that his combat power at home was over 150, so he thought that his strength might be draining. He heard two guys talking to each other that the device in the Martial Art Association gives more accurate results than those outside, so they need to improve their performance to clear the test. He thought he could finally check his strength more accurately and told the receptionist he wanted to participate in the martial artist certification test. She told him to fill out the application form and go to room 5203 for the test. He was shocked to see the room crowded and thought he had to waste much time there. Near him, two boys were commenting on a girl that if such a young girl comes here for assessment, then her abilities might be extraordinary. Zhao Changfeng, a man with an extensive and well-built body, entered the room, crossing other participants. He goes first and gives his form to the analyst, but the girl tells him angrily that he shouldn't break the line because he is solid and significant. Rules are equal for everyone. The analyst says he can do it because he is participating as a level 3 martial artist. Everyone is shocked because there are only 10 level 3 martial artists in the city. He started the test first to check blood chi, which was 107. Everyone was shocked as it exceeded the standard value. Next was the combat strength test. Wind pressure created by his one hit caused all of the level 1 martial artists to fall, resulting in 10,831. The analyst results that now he can be recognized as a level 3 martial artist in the city and give him an allowance of 30,000 yuan. The girl thought he was a walking weapon with such strength and blood chi. The protagonist says that this is the result of a level 3 martial artist, and the girl is shocked to hear it and thinks he is trying to pretend by standing firm on someone's fist wind. He tells the analyst that he can take the test next, and the analyst says that even after seeing that punch, he is still so calm and enthusiastic and starts the test. He checked his chi, which came out to be 15.701. This makes everyone shocked as he was only 18 years old. Next is the combat strength. The man tells him not to be affected by the punches of Chang Feng and told him to take time and hit as many times as he wants. But he says only once will be enough. While testing combat strength, the wind pressure created by his only punch made everyone tremble, and his combat strength was 15,709. He thought that after breaking through the bottleneck, adding star power, and natural breathing techniques, combat strength power could become 10 times its blood chi, which is the charm of martial arts. The analyst was going to declare him a level 1 martial artist, but later, he saw the result of his combat strength. He was shocked because it surpassed that of level 2 and exceeded level 3 martial artists, and he wasn't confident about the result. He told him that he couldn't evaluate it now because he needed to report it to the head of the association, as the Martial Art Association would not bury such talent, and assured him that he would give him a satisfactory result. He was about to leave when Chang Feng appeared at his back and wanted to know about him, so he introduced himself. Everyone rushed towards him, wanting to know about him to save himself. He started running away from them. King and her friends were waiting outside the building for their senior sister Yang when she saw his brother coming out of the building and calling him. She asked what someone like him was doing here, as he doesn't go to school and sleeps in his room all day. He was surprised that although she knew he was not going to school, how she knew he slept in my room. He told her he came here to do something and asked what she was doing there. Her classmates introduced themselves to him and told him they accompanied their seniors as she participated in the assessment. Fanfan told him that he was entirely different from what her sister told them and was handsome. King becomes enraged with her friends when they compliment her brother's attractiveness. Meanwhile, his brother says goodbye and leaves. While they were arguing, their senior came out of the building. They rushed toward her and asked her how was the result of her assessment for martial artists. She told them their assessment was suspended due to an unexpected accident and would now be in the afternoon. They asked her what kind of accident led to the suspension of the assessment. She told them that the boy of her age had a blood chi of 15.7 and his combat strength exceeded that of a level 3 martial artist. They inquired about that person's name, and when she told them his name, King was shocked because that was his brother. On his way, he saw some people searching for someone and heard some women conversing. They said they were from Hongchuan Arts Hall and were looking for someone. They further say they are fierce and will break their leg once they find that person. He remembered that this was the same hall where he went to test last time and wondered if they were really that fierce. While thinking all this, his phone started ringing, and he said that when he was not going to answer the call, then what's the point of calling him? Ma Fei from Philanthropy Hall was calling. He ignored them as he wanted to investigate before deciding whether they qualified to get a future prescription. Later, he activated the AI and asked her to retrieve his personal history. It shows that he became a level 2 martial artist at 18 and was recommended by Baihe Martial Arts Association to participate in Dongning Province Genius training camps and entered the top 20. He graduated from Dongning Martial Art University and served in the military. He retired from military officer status and founded Sheng Martial Arts Hall in Baihe City. At 45, he became a level 6 martial artist but failed to break through the level 7 Grandmaster at 55 and died at 87. He was glad as he could change his future because a week ago, he was at level 4 and died at age 37. But now it was different. He knows that these little changes are not enough if he wants to protect humanity from such a tragic ending, as changing it requires more powerful strength. Thus, being a level 6 is insignificant, and even level 7, 8 and 9 is powerless in front of such a future. Suppose he wants to change such fate and end only by succeeding in mastering martial arts. After breaking level 10 level, there will be slight hope. Although the change will be slight, he has decided to walk through that path and will never look back. A man was talking to Xiao Yu, assistant director of the Baihe Martial Artist Association, on a video call that although his abilities and mental strength are that abundant that he will soon be able to reach level 7 of the Great Master Realm. But if he would put this much effort into educating other would be better. He told the man that he should stop teasing him and that it's not like he doesn't wish for a few martial Dao geniuses to appear in Baihe. Still, he knows that Baihe doesn't have a century-old martial Dao family to succeed. Secondly, they cannot supply lavish amounts of resources. There's nothing he can do about it either. The man said that it's time to send someone to training camp, as this was an embarrassment for such a large organization not to send someone to participate. And this time, he must protect the organization's reputation. He was angry and said he just wanted to discover a genius who could do well, and if he could be at the top position and possess all resources, he wouldn't be writing all these here. At the same time he was thinking all this, his assistant Zhu entered his room and told him that something had happened at the martial artist assessment. He was surprised as she entered without knocking and asked why she was flustered. She told him that the assessor came and showed the result of 18-year-old boy whose Kai is level 2, but his battle power is 15,000. He was so happy and wanted to see the result, and after seeing his technique, she told her that is the perfect realm fighting technique. Still, he was surprised an 18-year-old boy couldn't do it with the blood and Kai of 15.7, as he could only double the battle strength. Still, realized it was maybe because he was a gifted martial artist. He was so happy that he lifted his assistant and started moving around while she felt dizzy. Still, she asked who they were, and he explained that they were exceptional gifts that could awaken tremendous power that ordinary people could not even imagine. Their blood and Kai skyrocket when they awaken, some are as fast as light. He made a personal trip to the protagonist's home and told the assistant to properly visit his parents for giving birth to such a wonderful son. Nai Shuang Jr. told him that he found the detail of that. His name is Lu Sheng, studying at Baihe Institute. His mother is a cashier, and his father works at Shenzing Logistics. His sister is in her first year and lives near Block 15 of the Sapphire Estate. He asked her why she was looking for him, and if she was angry at him. She didn't need to take any revenge as he belonged to a low-income family, but told him to shut up as it was not what he thought. She talked to someone on the phone and told her junior to buy gifts suitable for parents and a girl. On his way to buy gifts, he thought he might marry him. Later, Lu Sheng was in his room when his sister knocked and told him he should quickly come out as someone was looking for him. He came out of his room and saw a man sitting there. Then his mother was about to introduce that man. He introduced himself to him that he was the president of the Baihe Martial Artist Association ZAU and came to talk about his assessment result. In response, Sheng introduced himself, and the man thought he was calm in front of him. And that kind of temperament is rare. He asked about the girl sitting close to the man, and his mother told him that she was Miss Nai from Hongchuan Martial Arts Center. They greet each other. The president then tells him that he is here to present him as level 2 martial insignias formally, and because his battle speed is more than level 2, thus his allowance is according to level 3. They have rewarded him with $1 million to appreciate his outstanding talent. His family was shocked, but he was calm, thanked him for his encouragement, and asked him what they wanted in return. The man picked up the envelope from his coat pocket and told him they wanted him to participate in the province talent training camp. The girl was shocked to hear about training camp, as she remembers that although it is for talented people, it also destroys the talent of one senior who went to that camp. But when he returned, he was not his old self and could not recover from its shock. She told Sheng that his future was bright and he didn't need to take this risk, but the man said that although there is a risk, only those who can withstand those risks are true talents. All others are just a pebble before them, and his potential shows he can reach above them. The president moved the envelope toward him and said that he would respect his decision, and what is his choice. He accepted the envelope and said to him that he was right. This wasn't his limit yet. The president said he would pick him up for 2 days and leave. Then he asks Miss Nai why he is present, and she tells him that he is much more handsome than in his photos and says she wants him to become Hongchuan honorary disciple. He asked her what that meant, and she told him he could enjoy all the free facilities, including lessons and equipment, and her father could teach him. She thought she could promote and advertise their martial arts hall if she spread the rumor that 18-year-old level 2 or perhaps level 3 martial artists were at their center. Then most of the parents would send their kids to their center, but he denied it, and she wanted to negotiate. Still, he said that he could be an honorary member and train at her center, and they could even advertise it. But he didn't want to become their disciple even if it was for the title, and he agreed to join if she accepted these terms. After thinking for some time, she accepted his term but told him the honorary title must be exclusive to their center. She told him that she would send his monthly pay directly to his home, say goodbye to them and leave. His parents were happy and were wondering if they were dreaming, as he was receiving $1 million of scholarship and monthly pay, and asked him when he would become a level 2 martial artist. He holds his mother's hand to assure her this is not a dream, and he has become a level 2 martial artist, and tells her that she won't have to work night shifts in future anymore and father doesn't have to do that back-breaking work again. While hugging them, he says he can earn now so they can stop working so hard. In the philanthropy hall, Missy was worried that even after a week, she could not see his name even though she had searched all newly registered pharmacists. On further analyzing the drug he made, it gives shocking results. Not only it's multiple times stronger than grade 1 and 2 drugs, and it exceeds grade 3 drugs. It has many benefits with no side effects and has a long expiration date. Even though its production cost is less than $3,000, she asked Ma Fei, who was afraid, "Where is this guy?" While pointing toward the TV, he told her that he had found that guy. She saw the news, congratulating the genius who, at such a young age, is at level 2, and his battle strength exceeds the level 3 standard and is a student at Baihe Institution. She was shocked to hear that he was a student. At the Seas of Trees, he thought he didn't think he could use the fixed star power on himself with quadrupled fixed star power. In addition to the Dreamland absorption technique, his agility stats reached new heights, and his speed became 5 times faster than level 2 martial artists. He called it cloud chasing step. While standing at the cliff of the mountain, he understands how to use natural breathing techniques, as his every breath can absorb energy from the air, replenishing his strength, and he can also sense everything around him and harmonize with the universe. Now his blood and Kai have risen, and his fixed power has grown so that he can release 6 times the power. This was a surprising gain, as he came to the mountain to gather some ingredients for marrow nourishing pills and wasn't expecting this breakthrough. His spiritual muscle strengthening tonic is about to finish. As he is closer to the end, the effect of the tonic decreases. Thus, he must start refining marrow nourishing pills. Since these herbs' medicinal importance is not yet discovered, he wouldn't be able to find them if the system weren't telling him about them. Once he pre-ordered all other herbs, it's time to see how fast he can go downhill with the cloud chasing technique. At the mountain's base, he saw the man and told him that he had ordered these herbs and asked if they were ready. The man told him that these were ready, and he checked the herbs to check if all were fresh and mature. He told the man he wanted 10 stalks of every herb with the previously decided price of 500 per stalk. He was about to give him money when the man smiled cunningly and said he had to buy them all with the price of 1,000 of each stock. He asked the merchant what this meant, and he told him it was just like what he heard and that he was not from the Sea of Trees, so he had to follow their rules. Suddenly, few men appeared behind the trees with knives, and the merchant told him he should accept his defeat. He says they want to coerce him into buying and selling, and the man told him not to act smart as they all are level 1 martial artists, and since there are no surveillance cameras, if he called the police, they wouldn't believe the outsider. The protagonist hits the mountain, and with the wave of his fist, the rock becomes powder, and they all become scared. He asked them if he should admit defeat and clean the rock powder from his hand. They apologized and told him he could take the herbs without paying a cent. He advised them to treat their customer honestly, and while leaving, he thought he had all the ingredients and should get ready to head to the training center. After he left, the man thought he should find another job and that he must be a level 3 martial artist, as with the wave of his hand, he crushed the rock into powder, which is quite unreasonable for a student. One day later, he was at Dongning Province training camp and thought it seemed like a military camp rather than a training camp. While seeing a couple, is it mandatory to wear these military insignias? Still, he forgot to bring his insignia as his mother displayed it. The guard asks him from which city he is and why he is alone, and he says he is from Baihe. The boy and girl talk to each other. He must have been slotted at the last moment as all other participants from this city entered yesterday, and he doesn't have his insignia. The boy asked him tauntingly if he was the one whom the Baihe Martial Art Association president mentioned and that he might have received many gifts from him. The guard told them to keep quiet and guided him that the ceremony would begin after entering and someone would help him with his luggage. After entering, the door closed and they worried they would be locked inside. The instructor told them to do an entrance ceremony. They had to reach the exit opposite the walkway, and if they failed, they would be sent back to their hometown. They were shocked because they thought there would be an entrance ceremony, not the test, and they didn't know about the walkway. Suddenly the ground moved apart, and they all fell into the basement while others worried about themselves. The protagonist inspected the area and, using his mental strength, he figured it out as expected. It was not an ordinary walkway, and he wondered what those black figures were. On the other hand, Lin Xiaoyu from Qinyang City also figured it out and found it boring as it is not that elaborate. The boy behind him shouts at him for not telling them about the trap, but he tells him that he brags every was calling himself a martial artist when he doesn't have a bit of adaptability. The boy gets angry and is about to fight him, and the girl stops him and says that they all are from the same city, so they should unite to find a way to get out of there. He agreed with her that they should unite to pass this test and asked the protagonist if he is willing to help them as he wasn't from their city. The second boy makes fun of him, that how can this little boy help them out? After thinking for some time, the protagonist told him he would be a perfect little rat for the lab tests. The boy says that since he is taking the initiative, if he does well, they will let him tag along, and he was shocked to hear his reply that predator always moves alone and only prey move in a group. Xiao Yu get angry at him for calling him prey, but ignoring all this, he moves forward, and on taking one step, suddenly so many robots appear in front of him. He was standing before them, but the other boy was surprised to see so many of the mechanical puppets because even its weakest one was stronger than the level 1 martial artist. He thought the people at the training camp were trying to kill them as these mechanical puppets can perform all sorts of high-level mechanical martial arts techniques, which makes them all worried. But the protagonist thought it cost a lot more to build these mechanical puppets than to nurture 4 martial artists. And that's his first time seeing this. The boy makes fun of him and says that if these mechanical puppets hit him, it will retard his growth as they are made of special alloys. Still, he moved toward the robot, which was about to punch him when he stopped it with one hand. Everyone was surprised. He lifts the robot and throws it toward the ceiling. Everyone wondered if he was a human as he seemed very strong. But the boy did not admit it. Instead, he said they aren't even grade 1 robots and are about as strong as wooden dummies. Otherwise, how can they pass the assessment as there are so many of them? And even the protagonist manages to withstand its attack. He decided to attack as it seemed easy to kick the robot's head, which came out on one hit. And everyone thought he might be right. But then the robot punched him, which he couldn't dodge, and it put its head back in its place. Everyone was worried and rushed toward him and realized that these were grade 2 mechanical puppets and wondered what his grade was as he managed to hit them. He knows that to defeat them, he has to hit their core, and after defeating them, he goes toward the exit. On the other side, the man was worried because he lost the connection with the robots, and they were all malfunctioning. And he wondered how some grade 1 kids could destroy them. He entered the room where the man was present, called him the gatekeeper, and asked him if the second test had been started. While the man wondered when he became gatekeeper, he was ready to hit him and was shocked to see this. On the other side, Colonel King Zhu was typing, and Major Qin Xiaojun entered the room and called her by name. She was displeased and told him not to call her that and asked if he was free. He should help her review the material. He sat next to her and asked about the performance of this year's participants, and she told him that only 8 of the participants met their standards and that they were martial artists whose gift had been awakened. 5 of these 8 are pretty ordinary as their gift has all to do with strength, while the other 3 are agility, defense, and the man straightened and said the psychic type. She told him that the psychic type martial artist Xia Lin is most outstanding. Her gift was awakened 2 years ago, and she is almost ranked 2 martial artists, so she put her down as the primary training target this year. He told her that others were also not bad, and they were shocked to see something on the screen. Meanwhile, at Assessment Hall 7, Xia Lin was fighting the robots when she sensed something dangerous and realized that its ability was at rank 3 as it did not come out to stop her. It was not part of the assessment, and she thought maybe it was the supervisor responsible for the assessment. When she came out, she saw so many people guarding one of the exits, and she wondered whom they all were against. She uses her psychic power, sees 2 people fighting on the other side of the gate, and wonders why the opponent is a human, not a robot. She becomes terrified when he looks at her, and she tells them to stay away. Then the colonel and major reached there and asked what's the situation inside. But they said they weren't sure what was going on there as the surveillance camera had been destroyed. He asked for the information of everyone in passage 12, but she said it was not necessary now. The door opened, and the protagonist appeared. Everyone was surprised to see him as he was just a student, but became shocked to see him dragging the supervisor. And the colonel asked him who he was as he wasn't a student from Qinyang City. He dropped him and told them his name and city, and the major told him that he had some nerve as he destroyed the robot and beat the instructor. He scratched his face and explained to them that's a misunderstanding as he thought it was part of the assessment as he was so strong. She assessed him and congrats him on passing the test, and told him to go to his dorm and rest. The major told her that rank 2 robots are like toys to him. His Kai is 15, and his combat strength is over 15,000. But she told him that she assessed him, and he showed no reaction. He asks her how she would deal with it, and she tells him to nurture him as a top priority like the psychic girl. The protagonist wondered if she discovered anything during the psychic scan as he retracted all his psychic energy, and his stomach grumbled. The instructor told him that it's almost time for lunch, so let's go to the canteen first. He thanked him and asked if he could eat as much as he wanted because his appetite had increased. He told him that as it was his first meal, he could eat as much as he wanted and was glad to see the table full of meals. He ate that all and asked for more, and the instructor was shocked. While eating, Young appeared in front of him and told him she was also from Baihe City, and they had met at the martial artist assessment and asked him if she could sit there. He told her that the food here was unlimited and she could get it herself if she wanted some more, and she got angry as she was not for the food there. He said the president told him there was no Baihe representative, but she said he might be misunderstood as they were sent every year. But no one managed to pass the entrance exam, and if they did, they were asked to leave as they didn't score enough. He asked her about points. She explained that it's like currency here, and if they want to use the resources, they must use the point. She further said that only 3 people got points in the training camp. While eating, he wondered how did they get them. She said that we can only get points by passing tests and assessments. The first one, Cao Yang, is a rank 2 martial artist from Yonglin City and has the gift of stone skin. Next is Meng Jin, he rank 2 from Donggang City, who has a speed type gift, and last but not least, psychic type people say her gift is strongest in this year's training camp. The psychic girl sees him and becomes shocked. She was so shocked to see him that she lost her balance, and he said that's who she was. She asked if he knew her, and he said they met at the passerby. She further says there is a 4th person, but rumors about him are so far-fetched that he is terrifyingly strong and single-handedly destroys all the robots. He is such a demented maniac who beats the supervisors badly that he is sent to the hospital. He was so ashamed and shocked that he almost spilt water but still asked if there was a man like him, and she further says that because the supervisor was strong, he survived it all and thought he was just another figure in the crowd here. While he was thinking, she moved the napkin toward him and said she believed in his abilities. And some people appeared behind her and told him they had to investigate him for damaging all the mechanical puppets and injuring the supervisor. Everyone was shocked that he was the 4th person. He stood up, excused the girl, and left with them. Everyone was shocked to know that the 4th person was from Baihe City, but she was so shocked and ashamed as she called him a madman, demented, and so much more. He was in the control room, and the colonel told him he was something as he cleared their half-year worth budget in just a few hours, as every route was worth tens of millions. None of them could have been repaired because he did this for the assessment. They wouldn't take any action against him. The major entered the room with 3 other kids who cleared the assessment. They congrats them, and she told them that in this training camp, the stronger they were, more resources they could use, and gave them the card and said that when they had enough points, it could be stored in this card. The 3 of them were given a gold card with 100 points. They were happy, but his card was white, and they wondered what that meant as they didn't hear of a white card. He wondered if it was empty, and when he flipped it, some instructions were written on it: Monster Meat Canteen, 5 points for each meal; Training Room, 10 points per hour; 30 points for regular instruction training, and 100 points for Deputy Chief Instruction. The major almost slipped from the chair when he said only eating is useful here, and told him to be grateful as his card has 1,000 points, and if it's not for the chief instructor, he would be in debt for damages. 2 of the kids were shocked, and a third thought that he thought the training camp didn't give special favor, but he was wrong and was disappointed. The girl asked them if they didn't know how he performed in the assessment, and he said that he spread the rumors and bribed the instructor and students, as the supervisor is of level 3, and only a level 4 martial artist can defeat them. Even if he has the strongest psychic type gift, it would be impossible with this body to defeat him, and if training camp rules are that the strongest will have more resources, then he should prove this to me right now. The major is about to stop him, then the colonel stops him. The protagonist asked as if he was sure about it, and asked if he could move his stone-like body 1 step back, and didn't even completely say his point when he used his stellar finger flick on him. He was thrown back so forcefully that the wall broke. He says he shouldn't ask him to pay as he is the one who wants this. After seeing this, the other 2 kids were shocked, and he asked them if he could go now. Then the chief asked him if he wants he can use his points to get instruction from her, but he refused and said he had more important things to do, and the major asked does he have more important things than getting training from the chief, and he said yes as he is going to sleep. His reply shocked other kids, and major laughed at his reply. When he leaves, both of them watch him through the surveillance camera, and he goes to sleep. But she tells him to let him do as he wants because he is the top-graded grindstone and can stimulate the growth of others. She asks him if he remembers Ding Peng in their batch. He says hearing his name makes his chest hurt. Then she tells him that he was the one who was overpowered in the training center. People with physical type gifts can easily hit combat power of 10,000 and can defeat those above their rank, but strength is not everything. Observation, strategy, tactics, and experience matter, and people relying on their physical strength fade away, which might be his future too. Later he was fighting a zombie but could not defeat it with a single blow, and used the stellar impact to defeat him. After absorbing its energy, he realized that it ranked 6, just like the chairman of a martial artist association, and if he didn't use all of his psychic power to block the blow, that could be bad. While absorbing zombie energy, he thought that vitality is not everything. Instead, what he gained from these dreams was true riches. As human strength is limited, no one can be talented in everything. Still, since he was standing on the shoulder of countless people, he became multifaceted without any blind spot in his path to becoming a complete martial artist. While sitting on the ground, he thinks that his psychic energy also matters, as without it, he wouldn't be able to defeat any zombie. But it's of the basic type, so he cannot use it with that benefit against a rank 6 martial artist. He uses visualizing techniques to increase focus on his inner world and refine his mind, and suddenly, energy surges in his body, and his power advances again. He turned on the AI from his watch and asked it to retrieve his biography, and was glad to see that he had become the rank 7 martial artist. And since he became a martial master, his evaluation and perm access must be increased too. So, he asked the AI to look up the advanced techniques of stellar body refining techniques, natural breathing techniques, and crystal visualizing techniques, and she found the result and displayed it. While checking these, he found a divine illumination of the King of Hell Wai Duan Yifeng, the complete martial arts technique. He was surprised to see the divine illumination as it is powerful, unrestrained, and unimaginable, and thought it's incredible. It was not in the combat skills selection, as it's especially for the psychic mentalist, and it has techniques for using psychic power in battle. Most importantly, its essence is to use psychic energy to create a clone of the martial artist from his body, which is so intricate that it duplicates the martial artist's cells, muscles, and even genes. Its purpose is to strengthen the person from every angle, and its first level is to use psychic energy to strengthen organs, increasing vitality. He needs more as his vitality keeps him from improving. Thus, he can break all obstacles. He thought that he had underestimated martial art research after 10,000 years, as it is incredible. And he remembered the name of the person who created this technique, as he was an exceptional talent for him. But he turns and sees the city's condition and becomes disappointed, because even after having such extreme talent, destruction of human civilization cannot be prevented. He thinks that his path is much more vast, even though, hence, he has to become stronger every minute and every second. 1 month later, Xia Lin was in the psychic room training to control the star cones, and the chief instructor entered the room and praised her for making such rapid improvement, as she could easily control 3 star cones. Further told her that when she could control 6, then she has entered the realm of rank 1 mentalist. She thanked her as it became possible because of her instruction, and told her that she noticed a massive weakness in her mental fortitude and asked if someone had left her with mental trauma. She was terrified and remembered that day and asked if there was any way to resolve this. She said that it's simple: if she finds the person who causes the trauma and defeats him, her trauma will naturally be gone. But she becomes terrified. The chief told her she was rapidly growing, so it shouldn't be difficult for her. She had heard that the scary guy was in a wasted state, and if his abilities were stagnant, perhaps she could defeat him. When she exited the room, the major asked how did it go. She replied that although she is talented, she but of soft character, and he said everyone is not like her, and she must be much better than the one he is instructing. She said we had taught them what we could, 2 months were remaining. Then it would be over, and asked if he was the same way. He told her that every time staff go to deliver food, he is just sleeping away, and told he to remember what she says to students so that they can stay in their dorm and sleep and no one will interfere. She regretted saying it and asked if she still wanted to use him as a grindstone. She denied it and told him to train Meng Jinghe, otherwise, her student might beat him in the closed camp assessment. Yang Yuan was cleaning when a girl appeared carrying some sacks and told her she envies those who get 100 points but must work hard and hold their hunger to save. Then the boy asked her what is the protagonist doing, as she was on good terms with him, and said she didn't know. The other girl said he left an impact initially, and everyone feared him, but then he locked himself in the dorm. At the same time, everyone might have already caught him and asked her if he was scared, and did. He realized that strength-type talent would gradually diminish, so he decided to hide away. She thought he was not that type. She told them to rest, and she would do rest alone. Someone called her to see that Cao Yang was about to take quadruple gravitational force, and another girl told her to let go and see, as she almost fainted while doing double gravitational force. But she thought that what the protagonist was doing, meanwhile he was absorbing energy. Cao Yang was practicing triple gravitational force, while the kid outside thought he was incredible as he did it for 4 minutes, which is 30 seconds more than the previous, and he terminated his training. When he came out of the room, kids praised him as he could hold triple gravitational force for 4 minutes while they could only hold double gravitational force for 10 minutes. He was feeling great. According to him, they were making a fuss about this and when he would quadruple their reactions. One of the kids told him that if he kept it up, he could do quadruple gravitational force and no one could beat him. While rubbing his face, he asks what he was doing all this time, and the kid replies that he is the same as always. Whenever I went to deliver food to his room, saw him sleeping and it seemed like he had wild dreams. He replied that although he was not his match in the past, the slow-moving turtle could catch up with the rabbit, and he had been sleeping for almost a month, so now he would be his match. While he was talking, the protagonist crossed him and asked him if it was the gravitational force training room. He said mockingly that after sleeping for more than a month he finally realized that he had to train. While he thought he didn't expect that he might use so many points in eating and decided to train for 3 hours after setting it, he pressed the button. He asked him if he had been sleeping for more than a month. So, let's see how much he has grown in this time. And the boy said, you were sleeping all this time and are expecting to grow. After the activation countdown started, the door closed, and he asked him if he was not going to warm up before going in, and the door closed. They were watching him from outside and said gravitational force training was no joke and that he could do it without warming up as the sudden pressure could burst internal organs. The gravitational system started, but he didn't show any reaction. He started training, which shocked everyone as he could train easily under the pressure of gravitational force, and they thought it couldn't be real. He likes it and searches for the button, but the boy thinks he might be stopping because he can't endure it further, and he presses the button. A sudden wave was produced, which was unbearable for others, but the kid was shocked to see that he was training under quadruple gravitational force. He thought so that's how it feels under quadruple gravitational force and put his hand on the ground. Everyone thought he was giving up, but they all became shocked. The psychic girl who was passing from there came there after seeing them all gathered there and asked what they were looking at, but was shocked to see Lu Sheng holding his body upside down on 2 fingers. The boy was about to cry and wondered why he was so strong even after sleeping for over a month. Meanwhile, the protagonist thought that quadruple gravitational force was better than the previous one and increased gravitational force 5 times. The boy outside is shocked and calls others to see this. Meanwhile, he started natural breathing techniques. Everyone was running toward the gravitational room, and Xiao Yu was shocked as he was back. They were shocked to see him practicing with such high gravitational force when they reached there. The gravitational force was 5 times the previous, and he realized he could train in it now. He thought he should be able to perform stellar body refining techniques in it, and further increasing the intensity would make it difficult for him to move. But he needs greater pressure to push him to his limits and move toward the button. Everyone thought he might be shutting it down now, as that's quite high pressure to train, and he already held in it for enough time. He pushed the button to increase it further, which made everyone shocked. In the control room, the chief instructor thought 2 more students had left today, and most of the students had left the training camp quickly. The major gives her the juice glass and says they are all so spoiled and pampered that they can't bear to suffer here. She said they couldn't survive in this difficulty, but if they faced real monsters in the battle, would they be able to last, and told him that he put too much sugar in the juice. He told her that the caliber of this batch is pretty good, so 80% of the students will be able to last till the end, and told her to see the G-Force room. They are working hard to break the record and were shocked to see that someone has already broken it. She asked if he was Cao Yang, as he was near to reaching 4x gravitational force, but he replied that's not him but someone whom she could never guess, and told her it's Lu Sheng. She was so shocked to hear his name and asked his rank, but he said he didn't know, but they had finally found the one they were looking for. The protagonist thought that 8x gravitational force was too much for him at his current vitality, as he had reached his limit, and decided to try new techniques to construct his heart. He was surprised as his vitality increased by 10% by only constructing his heart using the divine illumination of the King of Hell, and decided to find his true limits now. Everyone was shocked as he approached the machine, wondering why he couldn't be thinking of increasing the force, as it's already too much, and the pressure created by 10x force was unbearable for them. Cao thought about what he had done to bear that much pressure. The force was so high that his every bone felt the force, and his blood coagulated, and all his energy was used to make him conscious. So he realized that it was beyond the range he could handle, and that's exactly what he wanted, and he tries to stand up. The girl outside thought, who does he take after to change his future and turn this doomed ending? He has become someone incredible who can surpass the limits, and that incredible person is back. When he comes out of the room, everyone is gathered there, and he is sweating, so one girl gives him a towel. He received the towel, thanked her, and thought if he had known that he could finish it quickly, he wouldn't waste his 3-hour worth of time points. He saw a notification on his phone, received the reward for breaking the record, and had 4,335 points. Other kids were shocked to hear he has points in 1,000, as they all have few points, and even if it's gathered, it would be half of him. While heading toward his next training room, he thought 4,000 points would be enough for him and passed from the crowd. Everyone was thinking about where he was heading next and decided to follow him, and said that he was not even human as he practiced in 10x G-Force, and Yang thought he had a domineering presence. The other girl said to her that he might have strength type talent as he broke Cao's record, and what if his vitality had already reached rank 4. In the studio, Meng Jin he was training, and upon completion of the training, he completed 87% off level 2 and surpassed most of the previous students, and was glad to see the result as he had already surpassed 57% of people in the world. He was glad because of his instructor's instruction and training. His progress has increased compared to others. When he came out of the training room, he was surprised to see so many students gathered in the other room and wondered what was happening as both instructors stood there. Out of curiosity, he asked the boy what they were looking at, and told him they were looking at the protagonist's performance, laughed, and said, "Do you expect that sleepy head to break my record?" And the boy got irritated. They were shocked to see that every laser launcher was at full power, and he thought now he must avoid the laser beams. One of the difficulties of the training is that he can't predict where the laser beam will be fired from. But that's nothing for him. Laser beams started emitting. He used his psychic power to foresee them and dodged each of them. They were all shocked that it is possible when thousands of laser beams are emitting, and no one can tell which one will emit first. He was shocked and grabbed the other boy with the collar and asked if he was sure that it's that boy's first time in the footwork and movement studio. He said yes, as they all followed him. He further told him he even recorded the historical record at the G-Force training room. He was so disappointed as he thought his only ability was strength type, and he slept all the time, so how could he cross him? Rather, they looked like foresight. He turned around and dogged the beam, and she thought, could it be? She used her psychic power to scan him when the major asked for what she was doing, and she said nothing. She thought that the last time she tested him, she could not find a trace of any psychic energy. Did she want to test him again? Meanwhile, his footwork and movement training for level 2 completed 62%, and he can sense that his movement is getting faster. Then he completed level 2, and everyone was shocked as he took a few minutes to complete level 2, and thought his level 2 training seemed quite easy. The instructor said it seemed easy because he had a relaxed appearance and perfect physical control. The chief instructor said that she wanted to see how far he could go, and he said that it was the first time their thoughts were similar. Level 3 of footwork and movement commenced, and so many balls like laser beams were emitted, and Jin was scared to see the level 3 difficulty. Now it becomes tough as the laser beams are positioned in such a way to prevent him from dodging it, and so he knows he has to put in the real effort this time. But he managed to dodge them, and the instructor was surprised as he broke through the inner discernment stage because there are only a few rank 4 and 5 veterans who managed to get to this stage on the battlefield, and even he was able to do it at the age of 22. She said she did it at 25, but he got irritated and said it's different for him as he was born with the speed type talent, but that boy is just 18. He completed 15% of level 3, and it's not enough for him to depend on his psychic foresight as he feels it now. The instructor said that he didn't look relaxed now, and then he switched to the breath of wind mode, and 62% was completed. Everyone wondered where he disappeared, and 81% of level 3 was completed. Instructor Kin said he was moving so fast that it seemed he had disappeared. Laser beams were deactivated, and he completed his level 3. The instructor thought that he showed his all today as he looked exhausted and told her to return, but she says it seems that he will level 4 started. He was shocked even though he was an instructor. He just had started level 4 while trying to go through it all in a day. Level 4 started, and laser beams got activated. It's so difficult now, but he disappeared and dodged it. Everyone was shocked and thought, is it possible to dodge it now? And 30% of level 4 completed. Both the instructors want to see that he will handle it now. While he was utterly trapped in the web-like network of laser beams, he thought that he was almost at the limit of what he could do from the breath of the wind and used the divine illumination of the King of Hell technique and created a barrier around himself. It feels like time has been dragged out. According to psychic mentalists, it is called temporal sense. This occurs when one psychic energy is metamorphosed when a psychic mentalist reaches rank 3. So now he is a rank 3 psychic mentalist, and suddenly an energy emerges that cracks the floor and breaks the wall, and she realizes that he is a psychic mentalist.